It was a truck, not an armoured fighting vehicle, not a mine-resistant patrol craft designed by defence contractors with billion-dollar budgets. It was a six-wheeled commercial pattern truck built to haul crates across unpaved roads in former French colonies, and it became the single most trusted vehicle African armies sent to hunt ISIS and al-Qaeda fighters across the largest active combat zone on Earth. The ACMAT VLRA weighed less than half of what NATO allies drove into the same desert. It carried no armour worth measuring. Its engine came from a civilian catalogue. Its gearbox could be rebuilt by a village mechanic with a socket set. And across 5 decades of continuous desert warfare, from Chad to Mali to Niger to Burkina Faso, it outlasted, outranged and outfought vehicles that cost 10 times more to build and 100 times more to maintain. More than 40 nations operated it. At least 15 African armies still rely on it as their primary combat patrol platform. France itself used it for over 4 decades before beginning to retire it. The VLRA was never famous. It never appeared in a blockbuster film. It never earned a nickname from soldiers the way the Honey Tank or the Bren Carrier did. But across the Sahel, a belt of semi-arid territory stretching 4,000 kilometers from Senegal to Sudan, this stripped-down French truck did more fighting than any Western armoured vehicle deployed to the same theatre, and almost nobody outside of Africa and France has ever heard of it. To understand why this vehicle existed, it helps to understand the problem France faced in the 1960s. France was pulling out of its colonial empire. Algeria gained independence in 1962. The nations of West and Central Africa were becoming sovereign states. But France maintained military cooperation agreements with many of them, agreements that required French forces and their African partners to patrol enormous stretches of territory with almost no paved roads, no fuel depots, and temperatures that could destroy a European military vehicle in weeks. The vehicles France had were wrong for the job. Heavy armoured cars overheated in the sand. Standard military trucks broke axles on laterite tracks. Spare parts took months to arrive from mainland France. What the forces in Africa needed was not a better military vehicle. They needed a truck so mechanically simple that it could survive the Sahara on its own terms. In 1967, a small French manufacturer called ACMAT, based in the Atlantic port city of Saint-Nazaire, began producing the answer. The VLRA, which stood for Véhicule de Liaison, de Reconnaissance et d'Appui, was designed from the ground up around a single principle. Everything that could break in the desert was either removed or replaced with the cheapest, most widely available commercial component on the market. The original VLRA rode on a 6x6 drivetrain powered by a Perkins 4-cylinder diesel engine, producing around 95 horsepower. That was not impressive. A family car of the same era made similar power, but the Perkins diesel was sold in agricultural equipment across the African continent, which meant spare parts existed in open-air markets from Dakar to N'Djamena. If the engine failed in a village 400 kilometers from the nearest military base, a local mechanic who serviced farming equipment could strip it down and fix it. The truck weighed roughly 4.5 tons empty. It could carry a payload of nearly 3 tons. Its oversized fuel tanks gave it a range of over 1,200 kilometers on a single fill, more than double the range of most NATO patrol vehicles operating in the same environment. It could sustain speeds of 90 kilometers per hour on paved roads and maintain a steady 30 to 40 kilometers per hour across open desert, broken laterite, and dried riverbeds without damaging the drivetrain. There was no air conditioning, no pressurized cabin, no electronic warfare suite, no blast-resistant hull. The driver sat behind a conventional windshield. The crew rode on open benches in the rear, exposed to sun, dust and incoming fire equally. A weapon mount on the roof accepted a 12.7mm heavy machine gun, or a 20mm cannon, but the mount itself was a simple steel bracket, not a stabilized turret. The VLRA offered exactly 2 things: range and reliability. In the Sahara, those 2 things outweighed everything else combined. By the late 1970s, ACMAT had sold the VLRA to more than 30 countries, nearly all of them in Africa or the Middle East. The French army adopted it for forward-deployed units stationed across West Africa. Chad bought hundreds. Mali, Niger, Senegal, Côte d'Ivoire and Burkina Faso all standardized on the platform. The truck was cheap enough that developing nations could afford entire fleets, and simple enough that those fleets could be sustained for decades without French logistical support. Before getting into where this truck actually fought, if this kind of deep dive into military history is something worth watching, hit subscribe. It takes a second and it helps this channel keep producing these films. The first real combat test came in Chad. The Chadian-Libyan conflict, which ground on from 1978 to 1987, turned the VLRA into a fighting vehicle, whether France intended it to be one or not. Chadian forces, backed by French military advisors, used fleets of VLRA trucks alongside Toyota pickup trucks in fast-moving desert raids against Libyan armoured columns. In the decisive engagements of 1987, Chadian forces destroyed or captured hundreds of Libyan armoured vehicles using mobile warfare tactics built around speed and range rather than firepower and protection. The VLRA could keep pace with the Toyotas on long desert approaches, but it carried heavier weapons and more ammunition. Chadian crews mounted Milan anti-tank missiles on VLRA beds and engaged Libyan T-55 tanks at standoff ranges the Libyan crews could not match with their turret guns. That campaign established the VLRA's reputation across Africa. The truck was not tough, it was fast, long-ranged, and cheap enough that losing one did not cripple a unit's fighting strength. In the doctrine that emerged from the Chad conflict, the VLRA was not a replacement for armoured vehicles. It was a platform for a completely different kind of war, a war fought across distances so vast that armour became a liability, because it slowed you down and burned fuel you could not replace in the field. The next generation of conflict proved the point on an even larger scale. In January 2012, Tuareg separatists and jihadist groups, including Al-Qaeda in the Islamic Maghreb, and a movement calling itself Ansar Dine, overran northern Mali. Within months, an area larger than France itself had fallen under jihadist control. The Malian army collapsed. Its primary vehicles were ACMAT VLRA trucks, and a handful of aging Soviet-era armoured cars, and neither could stop the speed of the jihadist advance. When France launched Operation Serval in January 2013 to recapture northern Mali, French forces deployed alongside their own VLRA fleets. The operation required convoys to cover over 1,500 kilometres from southern Mali to the cities of Gao and Timbuktu in a matter of days. French armoured vehicles, including the heavier VAB-wheeled personnel carrier, struggled with the pace and the heat. The VLRA columns moved faster. They carried far less protection, but they arrived first. And in a war where the enemy scattered before conventional forces could close, arriving first was the only thing that mattered. After the initial French intervention stabilised Mali, the longer war began. In August 2014, France launched Operation Barkhane, a counter-terrorism mission spanning 5 Sahel nations: Mali, Niger, Chad, Burkina Faso, and Mauritania. The operating area covered 5 million square kilometres, roughly the size of the entire European Union. Patrols regularly covered 500 to 800 kilometres in a single movement across open desert. Temperatures on the ground exceeded 50 degrees Celsius in summer months. Sand infiltrated every mechanical system that was not hermetically sealed against it. In this environment, the VLRA became the workhorse of the campaign, not because it was the best vehicle available to French forces. France had VBL light armoured cars and later deployed the new Griffon multi-role armoured vehicle, but the VLRA could sustain itself in places where those vehicles could not operate independently. A patrol of 4 VLRA trucks could range for over a week without resupply from a forward base. The trucks needed no specialised maintenance equipment. When engines overheated, crews waited for nightfall and drove on. When tyres shredded on volcanic rock in northern Niger, crews swapped them from shared spares carried across the convoy. Every repair was mechanical, not electronic. Every part was replaceable in the field. The African armies fighting alongside France relied on the VLRA even more heavily. Niger's armed forces deployed VLRA patrols into the tri-border region, where Niger, Mali and Burkina Faso meet, a stretch of scrubland and desert that the Islamic State in the Greater Sahara had turned into a killing ground by 2016. Ambushes on military patrols became weekly events. The enemy fought on motorcycles and in Toyota pickups, striking checkpoints and withdrawing before reinforcements could arrive. In December 2016, fighters linked to Al-Qaeda attacked a Burkinabe military outpost at Nasumbu in northern Burkina Faso. The garrison, equipped with ACMAT trucks, was overrun in a coordinated assault. At least 12 soldiers were killed. The attack exposed the VLRA's most critical weakness in brutal terms. When the enemy chose the ground and attacked at close range with heavy weapons, the lack of armour meant crews had no survivable fighting position. They were exposed on an open truck bed with nothing between them and incoming fire. But the Sahel war was not fought at fixed outposts. It was fought on patrol, and on patrol, across open desert where the enemy was a column of motorcycles visible for kilometres. The VLRA's range and speed were the difference between making contact and watching the enemy disappear. Chadian forces, widely regarded as the most effective desert fighters on the continent, used ACMAT trucks to conduct deep strike operations hundreds of kilometres into the desert, hunting ISGS and Boko Haram cells that had retreated beyond the reach of slower, heavier forces. These patrols lasted days. They carried everything on the truck beds: fuel, water, ammunition, food, communications equipment. There was no forward operating base waiting at the other end. The truck was the base. The comparison that matters most in this theatre is not with Western armoured vehicles. It is with the Toyota Hilux. The Toyota pickup is the most widely used military vehicle in Africa and the Middle East. It is lighter, cheaper, faster, and available in every market on the continent. Jihadist groups, separatist militias, and government forces all use it. In the Sahel, the Toyota is the universal platform of irregular warfare on both sides of the fight. The VLRA held 3 advantages over the Toyota that kept it in service with national armies long after cheaper alternatives existed. First, payload. The 6x6 ACMAT could carry 3 tons of supplies and ammunition on a single chassis. The Hilux could carry roughly 1 ton before the suspension began to fail. For patrols lasting a week in open desert, this meant fewer trucks in the convoy and fewer logistical stops. Second, weapon mounting. The VLRA's reinforced military chassis could support a 20mm autocannon or a recoilless rifle without structural modification. The Toyota required custom welding to mount anything heavier than a medium machine gun, and the recoil from heavy weapons damaged the civilian frame over time. Third, institutional backing. African armies that received French military aid received ACMAT trucks as part of defence cooperation packages, complete with training, spare parts pipelines, and maintenance instruction from French advisors. Against Western alternatives, the VLRA won on a different metric entirely: cost per kilometre of sustained patrol. The French VAB armoured personnel carrier offered better protection, heavier armament, and far greater crew survivability in an ambush, but it consumed roughly 4 times the fuel per kilometre, required specialist mechanics with access to proprietary tools, and cost several times more per unit. A Sahel nation operating on a defence budget under $200 million could field an entire fleet of VLRA trucks for the price of a single company of VABs. In nations where the choice was between imperfect coverage and no coverage at all, the math was decisive. The ACMAT company itself did not survive the consolidation of the European defence industry. A CMAT was absorbed into Renault Trucks Defence, which became Arquus, which in 2024 sold its military vehicle division to John Cockerill Defence of Belgium. The original VLRA is no longer in production. The Bastion, its armoured evolution with mine protection, and a more powerful Cummins diesel engine remains available in limited numbers. But across the Sahel, hundreds of aging VLRA trucks are still in daily operational service. They are maintained by crews who learned the vehicle from the generation before them. Spare parts are fabricated locally or sourced from commercial suppliers who have no idea their components end up mounted on a weapon truck patrolling the edge of the Sahara. The VLRA was not fast enough to outrun a technical at full sprint. It was not armoured enough to survive a roadside bomb. It could not protect its crew from a determined close-range ambush. Its electronics were non-existent. Its crew comfort was brutal. Every shortcoming of a stripped-down commercial truck applied to it fully and without exception. And yet, in the red dust storms of northern Mali, across the volcanic gravel of Niger's Air Mountains, through the sand seas of southern Libya, on the crumbling laterite tracks between garrison towns in Burkina Faso, and in the furnace heat of the Chadian desert, this truck kept running when armoured vehicles with 10 times the budget sat broken in maintenance bays waiting for parts that would never arrive. The nations that fight the longest wars on Earth do not fight them in the vehicles that win defence contracts. They fight them in the vehicles that start every morning. The ACMAT VLRA started every morning for 50 years. That is not engineering. That is survival. And in the Sahara, survival is the only victory that counts.